All right, guys. So the next part, I'm gonna go ahead and just double check any areas that I've added that need just some adjustments. So I'm going to go to this camera. I'm gonna select this edge here again because you can kind of see just a straight line. We don't want that. I'm gonna press W, and then I'm just gonna move it along the Z-axis, and then move it slightly up. And again, you always want to rotate your camera just to make sure things in the round um, look accurate. All right, so everything's looking pretty good. So next, what I could do too is look through the front view and see if there's any adjustments with the reference image here. So I'm just going to scale along the x-axis. Uh, Oops, bring that. Then select. Select. Sorry for the lawnmower is mowing the lawn or the neighbor's lawn. So let me just view, select camera. Okay, I locked the camera. Okay, that's fine. Oh, maybe that's why I cannot. Let me see. Let's go. Windows, Outliner. Okay. See if I could just do a new front. There we go. For some reason, my camera got locked. Um, so just some things I noticed. I think there's a slight warping in reference to because I have this reference image aligned and this model aligned to this reference image. So I'm just going to make some slight adjustments based off of that. Scale along this axis. Maybe I'll bring it a little bit out. I'm going to drag select this vertex, bring this in. Right. Okay. And then what I can do, just to again continue rounding the bottom section, I'm going to take the bottom faces. I'm going to extrude, Control E. That did extrude. I'm going to press W, bring it down, and scale it in all three axes. I'll bring it a little bit higher here. Okay. Now I'll adjust the edges a little bit more. coming along. Some other things to note that I can start doing now. Um, can maybe even sharpen this bevel here that's going on. I mean, really, this edge here on either side is a little bit on the longer side. You can kind of see here, right? It's a little bit wider. And again, a lot of this, the goal is to really look at what we're seeing and, basing this off of real life. So I'm going to take both edges from where that little crease is. Let me also delete that. So both of these small edges, I'm going to press R. And I'll look at it from the side view. Alt, drag, yeah. And press R and scale. I may have to adjust the edges here, so I'm drag selecting in this small space to just select the edge here and then the one behind. And I'm going to just scale. Same thing here. And actually that should be good. So now that I have that done, I'm going to drag select this vertex, this edge, wow, the edge. I'm going to bring this a little bit wider. Drag select this edge as well. Okay, and then I'll look at this in the round, see how this is looking. And I might look at this too in the front view and see how the, yeah, how this is looking. So I can kind of see the edges here. These two edges can be a little bit more narrow and kind of swell as well as what we're seeing in the reference image. So I'm going to press R and start scaling that on along the x-axis. I'm going to double click here, this edge, and I'm just going to follow along this angle. Let me bring this a little bit more narrow. Let's move in. And I'll take this edge. This doesn't go all the way around, so I have to select, shift select, and add to my selection. And bring this out a little bit more. And then I'll just take these two edges here. Just slightly. Just adjust that. Okay. Great. So then what I'll do, I'll add another edge loop. Object mode. I'm going to shift right click, insert edge loop, and I'll add one right around here and scale it along the x-axis. And then I'll just see how this looks along the side view and scale slightly along the z-axis, and then I'll do the same thing just right around here as well. scale. Look at it in, okay, look at it in the front view and then adjust accordingly. Okay, so let's look how this is going. Okay, looking not too shabby. All right. So some things, I mean, we talked about too, just so you can practice this, is creating a Boolean. So a Boolean's gonna um, either intersect, combine, or union, and based off of another shape. So last time we did a difference Boolean, and it's just a matter of knowing which you select first in your group selection. So you have the object that you're cutting into, and then the shape of the hole that you're creating, which is the other shape that you need to create. So I'm going to make a cube because that's the best and easiest way. I'm going to go to my side view because this is going to be looking through the side to see this hole. I'm going to bring it down. This frame. I'll minimize all this. This is taking up a lot of space. And I want this cube to stay within this face that we have here. So this face right here. It cannot go past it because it's going to be easier to clean up later on. So I'm going to select the cube again. I'm going to go to the front camera, zoom out, and I'm going to press R and scale along the x-axis to make sure that it protrudes out from the left and right hand side. So now that I have that, now I'm going to go to my side view. I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to select this, shift select. I'm going to select the hammer first. So that is A. Shift select the cube, which is B. I'm going to go to mesh and highlight it in green as booleans, and I'm going to select difference A minus B. So A is always your first selection, B is your second selection, so just always keep tabs on what you're selecting first. If you did select the hammer second, then you would just do B minus A. So I'm going to, in this case, I selected the hammer first and then the cube, so this would be A minus B. Aha, there we go. And so this makes it a lot easier to clean because then we can get this vertex to connect to this vertex here. Um, so it makes it easier to clean up. So we do have an edge already here. I just want to make sure. So what happens here, it does duplicate my model. I'm going to just hide the first P cube one because this is the first hammer. And polysurface 1 is the hammer with the Boolean cut through. So with this, I'm going to do a few things. One, I'm going to select my object. I'm going to go to Edit, Delete by Type, History. And what this will do is this will delete that other cube that was the history, the history of that cube, as the ghost of it is still present. So when you delete the history, it'll delete that, and then you can kind of continue on cleaning this up. So I'm going to use the multi-cut tool to clean this up. So I'm going to connect this vertex to this vertex by creating an edge. So shift right click. I'm going to release on multi-cut. I'm going to start on this vertex. I'm going to close on this vertex. That way I have quadrilaterals and faces with just 4 edges. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. On this side of the this section of the hammer, vertex to vertex, I hit enter. I'm going to spacebar, and this time I'm going to have to use the other side. The other orthographic cameras do not, I mean, unless I create one, won't show me the opposite side. So I do need to go and use the perspective camera. All right, so I'm going to select vertex to vertex. enter. Highlight the vertex, click on the respective vertex, and then enter. All right, so now I can do what I've done this whole time. My best friend, insert edge loop. So I'll create an edge loop here. And then I can hold down my left mouse button and then release when I want to. Same thing on the other side. And then I can I could adjust just doing edges, but just note that if you do it this way, you have to adjust, the edges that are really close to it. So I can do vertices, just drag select these, or I can just adjust this face right here and this face here and scale in, right? Okay, so I didn't adjust. Da, 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 da. I think. Oh, whoops. I think I did a big boo-boo here. Edge. I think I accidentally created another edge by mistake. So because of that, since this is already, if I do delete this, I know this will be a quad. So again, I'll select just this one edge, control delete. And so now it'll delete the vertices that are also there. Control delete will delete the vertices and revert it back to how it would be without the edge. Delete will just delete the edge and not the vertices as well. So you just end up with errors, which is a problema. So I'll do this again. Yes, there we go. Ooh, I have another one. What the heck? Fun stuff. I know. Let's see if I. So be wary. Obviously, the Boolean is not always accurate. So just be wary that it could lead to just hidden edges, right? So I'll go back. I'll insert one more edge loop here, one right here, and then just one down here as well. And I'll also adjust to the edges that would curve this, so fear not. So I'm going to scale this out along the z-axis and then just bring this out as well. I'll go into face mode and adjust these as well because they're still pretty wide in comparison to everything else. And then I'll look at this through the side view and just see how these vertices are looking. So I might drag select these, bring them out a little bit more, drag select these. Okay. And I'll just drag the left hand side. And then I'll look at it from this view. It's not too, again, just because of the image itself, it's not too bad. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Let's look at this as a whole. But it's pun intended. Ha ha ha. I am so funny. Okay. And I hear the audible groans through this recording. Okay. So I think there's a few more things I can. Again, I can keep working on this all day. I could. So a couple things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna now start beveling some of these edges. So I'm gonna bevel this whole ring of edges where the cylinder is. Just gonna shift and add to my selection. Make sure I just select only that ring. Um, and I'm going to go to edit mesh. I'll click on bevel. And this tab will pop up. Ah, no, you disappeared. Undo that. So again, the fraction is the size of the bevel, so how much space it's taking up. Your segments is how many edges you're adding. And the depth is how um, the arc is, if it's going concave or convex. So if I did this, well, because I only have one segment, that's not going to define it much. If I do two, and then you'll be able to see the difference. I'm going to decrease the fraction a little bit, and then increase the segment. All right. Okay, that's coming along. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. So this ring, now this is an edge loop, so I'm able to double click on it and select it. I'll press G to repeat the last tool. And again, I'm going to decrease the fraction. One. Okay, we'll do 0.3, but then look at two segments. No, it still needs to be smaller. Let's try. I can get to 0.2. Let's look at how 0.2 looks. Yeah, 0.2 is the number. Uh, that's as much depth we're gonna get. We'll leave it at 2 for right now. And then we'll do the same thing for this top, the side view of this hammer, meaning right around here. We're gonna go. That was a sound. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to select, and just note that sometimes beveling will give you n-gon, so we will have to clean this up at some point. So I'm shift and adding to my selection. So I'm going all the way around. Oops, added a wrong edge. Okay. Oh, press C, because I deselected it. And if you undo it, it'll go back to your selection. Let's go. Okay. So again, I'm going to press G. This will bevel it. I don't want this to be so large, but we do need to break this down so it's not just one corner. So let's increase the segments. And increase the fraction a little bit. Good. And you can kind of see, oh, did that? Look at that. I have no n-gons. Perfect. Oh, I'm brilliant. And I'm going to memorize my stats here. So I'm going to do 0.9 fraction and then 2 segments. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So let's go all the way over here. Shift double click. Select. Select. Then shift double click. Holding down shift as I'm selecting. Okay, so I have this same silhouette. I'm going to press G. I'm going to type in 0.9 and type in 2. I'll hit enter. So same thing. I am actually, thankfully, this is working out great. And I'm just going to press Q or go to my select tool and just look in the round. And just kind of double check what's going on here. What I'll do is I'll double select this edge loop here and I'm going to bevel this as well. Press G and I'm going to double check the depth that I want. So I'll add a segment. I need the fraction a little tighter. And yeah, so this is going to be 1 as well. I'm going to make the fraction a little more small. So let's do 0.2. Okay. And then I did want to see how beveling this will... Actually, no. What I'll do, I'm going to take this face and I'm going to just scale it a little bit on the y-axis. Go. Okay. Whew, okay. So I think... Ooh, what's going on here? I think I just have a ring of edges that are not... I may not have moved, but we'll adjust. Okay, it's fine. What I'll do now, I'm gonna bevel this inner edge of the hammer, so this little internal section here. So I'm going to select the top and bottom. And this side. So just this whole little ring. This. I think that's it. Yep. Okay, so I'm press G and lower the segment. So maybe actually increase the segment by 2 at least. Enter. And then adjust. Okay. So this will be at 0.3. And then, yep, so that's looking good. All right. And then last, what I'll do, I can just do this with extruding. It's just like a manual beveling that I'm going to do. So I'm just going to select all 3 of these faces. Same with these. And I'm going to press Control E and bring them out. Oh, they did not. Okay. Control E. But of course they disappeared. Okay. Gonna scale this. Okay. Same thing here. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so there's always more, but this is getting pretty happy with this. I think maybe like other elements that I can like push is just maybe doing like again similar to how I did the tips of the fork. I can take. Let me just there we go. I can extrude this. So Control E, press R. I can scale this in and create its own bevel in here. And then with that, if I insert edge loop here and just insert an edge loop in between the thin row of faces, I can scale this a little bit small and then just bring it out to create another bevel. Same thing here, do the same thing, scale, make it smaller, and then bring it out. You'll never look at the hammer the same way again. All right, so with that, I can always just like kind of confirm, see how things are looking. So the goal of this is if I switch, back and forth from smooth preview to um, to my low poly form, my original poly form, which is 1. I want to have as minimal change as possible, meaning that I'm inserting that information that would tell me that this is smooth. Oh, what did I do there? I must have touched the face. Oh, I did. Oops. It happens. Even I do it. So I'll just take that. Let's take that. I think I just held down the move tool. There you go. bring it down. Problem solved. Increment and save. So shift. Oh my gosh, I forgot the hotkey. Increment. Shift Command S. Okay, I was, yeah. And version 6. Save as. Um, and so once I'm happy with this, I'm going to set this up to render. So I'm going to hide my reference images. I'm going to create a plane. So I'll go to Poly Modeling, click on Plane, which is the 4 square one. Scale this out. It's a pretty big hammer. I'm going to take this object, rotate it on its side. The reason being that I don't want to, let's say, I'll turn on my film gate here. The reason being that I don't want to just rely on keeping the hammer upright is that the hammer is really vertical and very elongated. So to take to make use of the negative space, I want to lay this on its side. So that way it's more proportioned with the horizontal landscape view of my renders. So I'm going to rotate it on its side. If you want to like go all quick, it'll be in the channel box. Rotate Z 90. I'll bring it up. I'll rotate it on the x-axis. And you can always check to see if there's too much space there. All right. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to go to my render settings. I'm going to switch my Arnold renderer because Arnold requires actual lights in the scene, and right now we only have default lights. So I'm going to switch to Hardware 2.0. I am going to switch it to a JPEG export. But either way, you'd have to resave this. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to go to my presets where it says image size. And I'm going to go to 1080 HD. I'm going to close this. I'm going to zoom in. Alt, right mouse drag. And I want to zoom in to where this is not crossing over my my edge here. And I want to get in as close as possible. So, all right. So this is pretty good. And then with that, again, I recommend keeping your resolution gate on, which is this icon right here. If you hover over, you'll see your film gate, your resolution, and your gate mask. This is the gate mask. I keep it on because it helps me see a little bit better. So now I'm going to select my camera, and you can select it in the outliner too. Persp. I'm going to click render, which is the plain clapboard. With that, I'm going to save this image. So File, Save Image. This will pop up, and notice that it will save to your Images tab. So I'll give it last name, first name, underscore, tutorial 2, render A. Make sure it's a JPEG here. Also make sure instead of RAW, it's under colored manage image. RAW will save a little darker than the image that you see in your render view. So I'll click save. I'm going to rotate my camera. And maybe you can, if you want to do it, opposite side. So if you went from the bottom, now maybe this time you'll view from the head of the hammer. And again, I'll click the plain clapboard, which is right here. Render. It'll change. I'll go to File, Save Image. Do the same thing. Make sure your file type is different. Last name, first name, tutorial 2, render B. And I'll hit save. Once you are done, upload the whole folder. So this guy, right? This whole folder, the one that has your name, that is what you upload to OneDrive. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you all next class. Goodbye.